Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm filming another video for you today. I have gotten a lot of messages on Instagram and even in YouTube asking, is this thing bad? Is it bad to do this? Is it bad to eat this? So I thought I would share with you some things you could stop doing right now to improve your health. Some you might know already hurt your health, some you might not. So I thought hopefully by sharing these with you, you'll get some things that you can some tips you can start to incorporate in your life, some things you can stop doing or start doing maybe even to help change your health drastically overnight. So the very first thing is to stop eating before bed. Now, I'm not saying to never eat before bed. I definitely do like my late night snacks while watching TV. So definitely not saying completely eliminate it, but try to reduce the amount of times you eat right before bed. What happens is whatever you eat before bed will not get digested probably until you wake up. When you sleep, your system is focusing more on detox and resting. But if you're eating food, your system's gonna have to start to try and digest that. It's not gonna be able to detox properly. It's not gonna be able to rest. So you're gonna get more inflammation. You're also gonna get bad sleep. You'll wake up a lot. You might not get into the deep REM sleep that we need because of the different, hormonal imbalances that are going on while your body is digesting food. So I highly recommend trying to stop eating, making dinner your last meal of the night, and yeah, try to kind of like intermittent fast, I guess, overnight as much as possible. The next thing is to stop drinking soda. So most people know that pop is bad, but what they don't realize is that you can still, like, obviously I don't want you to drink pop and I don't want you to drink Coke and Pepsi and all of that. So that's kind of like a common one. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm also talking about healthy pop, so-called pop, anything that's carbonated. So aside from kombucha, anything like even what's it called, Zevia or something like that, anything like LaCroix, anything that is carbonated, please stop drinking it. So there's a few reasons why. Number one, it is bad for digestion. Some people claim it is so good for digestion and it is not. Something that happens is it's very acidic. As soon as you get that carbonation, it means it's going to be in a very acidic drink. So it's going to, your body's going to have to balance out the acidity somehow, and usually it pulls out minerals from your bones to do that. So I really recommend not doing that. Another thing is that most carbonated drinks, even if they're claiming to be healthy, do have some flavors, and they're not, they say are natural, but usually they're still technically artificial. They are created, and they're not just pure like essential oil or something like that. So you're also getting some toxins there. It is really bad for digestion. I find that carbonated beverages are also so bad because usually you drink them cold, and when they're cold, they will shock your digestive system, and cause a lot of problems there. But definitely they're extremely acidic, and I really recommend avoiding them as much as possible. Aside from kombucha, which is naturally carbonated, that should be okay. The next thing is to stop taking hundreds of supplements just because you're Googling it and it says vitamin D is good for this, vitamin C is good for that. I don't have a problem with supplements and a wide range of them. I used to take loads and loads of supplements, but that was due to the fact that I had 3 kids in under 3 years and was very deficient in many things. But what generally happens, if you're not exactly sure what you're doing, if you're taking a bunch of supplements, and you're not focusing more on the liver and absorbing these supplements, you're going to cause a lot more damage to the body. Every single pill and supplement you take, your liver still has to not only break down, but utilize and send to parts of the body and detox what's not needed and store what's not needed. So we're putting a lot of strain on our liver, and if you don't address liver toxicity first and do a liver drainage and things like that, you're going to be wasting money because the supplements are going to go through you without getting digested. You're going to be straining your liver even more trying to work and utilize and break down these supplements, and you're probably going to end up causing a lot more inflammation and issues because now you're going to have that much more toxicity in the body because your liver is straining that much more to break down these supplements. So I highly recommend, rather than Googling 100 of different herbs and supplements to take, consider doing a simple deep liver drainer first. Get your liver functioning. Usually at that point you won't even have to take so many supplements because you'll start to absorb the foods that the nutrients from the foods that you're already eating, if that makes sense. So definitely cut back on the supplements. I get a bunch of people messaging me with long lists of supplements that they're on, and it gets to be a little bit much on the body if you don't start to cut back and really just take the absolute necessary ones. So consider that when you're taking a lot of supplements. Maybe start to think about doing a liver drainer first. The next thing that you can start to do, or I guess stop to do, is most people will sleep with their cell phone right on their bedside or right near their head, and they do not turn off the Wi-Fi. So if you do, great, you're doing a good job. Something I recommend is turning off your Wi-Fi while you sleep. I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments about this because I have so much hate and backlash whenever I mention EMFs. There's a lot of studies about EMFs and the effects that they have, not only on your sleep and your internal clock patterns and schedules, but also on the free radicals that they create and produce in your body. They are different energy fields, and they interact with our energy of our body, and they can completely throw off our energy fields and cause a lot of issues. And it's not just, you know, hippie people saying this. There are so many studies, and it's a very true thing. And you can just go on Google and search up, you know, EMFs and journal articles, and you will find loads. So you can do that if you want to do more research. But turning it off at night when you're not using it anyways is a fantastic way to limit your exposure to EMFs, and it also dramatically improves your sleep. I have firsthand proof. I used to always sleep with my Wi-Fi on. I never really thought to turn it off back in the day, and I would never sleep well. And as soon as I started turning it off the past year, I still have a long way to go with my sleep, but I did find that by turning it off, I do have deeper sleeps, and I wake up less at night. There are watches you can wear that will tell you how many times you woke up, and all of that. If you're interested in seeing the difference, you might not notice it on the first night, but if you turn it off and try a week or two and see, you should notice that you're staying in your REM sleep a little bit longer, maybe waking up a little less, falling asleep quicker. So I would consider giving it a try. Another thing you can do, you can go a step further by leaving your cell phone away from your bedside, away from your head. Even like TVs, things like that, maybe unplug it before you go to bed if you have a TV in your room or something. These are all just going to be more, you can get a little bit more of an effect by, you know, reducing the EMF exposure as much as possible. So definitely give that a try. The next thing is don't drink with your meals. Sorry, there's a train in the background. We live right by a train track, so they're always around, especially when I film. The next thing you can do is consider to avoid drinking around your meals. I see so many people who are drinking either teas right after their meal, or drinking, you know, coffee or something with their meal, or water with their meal. It's a big problem because generally we are not supposed to eat and drink at the same time. Even if you look at animals like dogs, they usually have their food first, their water separate. They never just have both together, at least from what I've seen. And the research that I've done. But usually people nowadays drink a lot with their meals. They'll drink a huge pop with their burger, things like that. And what's happening is your body will naturally produce stomach acid to break down the food that you eat. But if you're drinking so much fluid, you're diluting that acid, which is very acidic. Usually it's between a pH of 1 and 3. It's extremely acidic, and we need it that way to break down our food efficiently, to absorb nutrients, to make sure we don't get allergies and sensitivities, to prevent inflammation and fermentation of the food, so it'll prevent gas and bloating. But when you're consuming a lot of fluids around your meal, you're diluting that stomach acid, which means that food will not get broken down. It'll be a lot more stress in our digestive system, and you'll start to become malnourished because you won't be absorbing the nutrients from the food. So I really recommend avoiding your liquids. If you're that person that is like, I just have to drink something, I recommend sipping and adding apple cider vinegar or lemon to your water instead. So at least it's a little bit more acidic. And yes, just tiny little sips between your food if you feel like you need it. But usually if you make home cooked meals, if you chew slow and you're not adding so much salt or sugar to your meals, you should not have to have a drink. A lot of times if you're going out to a restaurant and you're eating food that has like high in sodium and high in sugar and fats, a lot of times you'll want to have, you know, some water to balance that out. But if you're making home cooked meals and you're, you know, using the right proportion of ingredients and chewing your food really well, you shouldn't need to drink around your meal time. So I encourage you to give it a try, see how you feel after you eat, after avoiding fluids. The next thing that you can do is don't chew aspartame gum. So anything with aspartame or sucralose, I highly recommend avoiding. They are neurotoxins. So aspartame contains neurotoxins, which will dramatically affect your brain health, the way you think, the way you function, your mood, your energy levels. There's a lot of toxins that will pass the blood-brain barrier, aspartame being one of them, and it does cause a lot of issues in the body. So highly recommend kicking that gum and looking for something that's natural. I had somebody message me on Instagram with a photo of gum, and it was a company claiming that it was like just simple ingredients and it was like clean and stuff like that. And she was like, found this awesome gum. I just want to share it with you. I thought maybe you would like to try it because I know you're always looking for healthy products. So I was like, sweet, yes. I looked at this picture and the ingredients was, the first ingredient was like aspartame, or the second ingredient. It was very high up on the ingredient list, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to mention this because definitely some people know the bad effects of aspartame and even sucralose, which is very similar. Some people don't, so I thought I'd bring it up here and just say, if you're really a gum chewer, look for something more natural. I know that the flavors run out a lot quicker and you feel like, oh, this gum just runs out so quick, where aspartame, it lasts for a lot longer. But I still encourage you to chew more natural. You can get either xylitol, you can get cane sugar in your gum, you can get stevia in your gum. So look for something. I like Cultured Care probiotic gum. They're like one of my favorites. But look for something that's a little bit more natural that does not have the artificial sweeteners in it. And that would help a lot. That would go a long way into helping your overall health. Another thing is, don't look for an overnight fix. So many people have a problem, whether it's leaky gut or candida or rashes or acne, achy joints, things like that, and they will go on Google and look for a fast fix, or they'll message me and they'll say, how long can this fix? I want my acne to be gone by next week, or something like unrealistic. Do not look for an overnight quick fix. If you think about it and say you're 30 years old or 20 years old even, and you have these certain problems or autoimmune conditions or disorders, if it took you that long to get to where you are today, to get that leaky gut and that candida and that autoimmune disorder, it is not going to take or happen overnight for you to reverse it or fix it or get rid of it. You have to go follow the process. It's a long journey. It could take years. Usually people get results when they start changing their diet and taking certain supplements. Usually they get results within a couple weeks or months. But in order to completely eliminate it and get rid of it altogether, that takes years, and it takes years of dedication, of eating clean, doing your best to reduce your stress levels and your toxic exposure and all of that. It is not going to happen overnight. So if you think that you can, get a quick fix for acne or eczema or any skin conditions, it's not the case at all. Like I said, usually you get relief and you start noticing a significant improvement in just a couple weeks or months, but it takes years to fully get rid of it. So I encourage you to go slow with your process. Don't try to rush and do 1,000 different protocols at once and supplements thinking you're going to get better results, because less is more when it comes to your body. We don't want to overwhelm it or strain it. We want to go slow. We want to start to gently detox, get things back to the way they should without overwhelming our body. So definitely stop trying to don't get hard on yourself, first of all, if you're not getting the results you need, because it's not going to happen overnight. Some people get worse even before they start to get better. Actually, a lot of people do. So stop beating yourself up if you feel like you're doing everything right and you're not getting relief. It's just give your body time. One day your body's going to completely adjust, and everything you've been putting into your body in terms of health and wellness is going to have its effect, and your body will start to show you the effects. A lot of times too, whatever supplements you take and foods you eat, they work internally. So usually the internal, dysbiosis and things that are going on inside get fixed before you notice external symptoms. So a lot of times people say, my skin is still really bad and all this stuff, but give your body time. It's working internally first. I guarantee internally in your body, it looks a lot better than it did before you started. Give your body time to adjust before the external symptoms will lift. So don't be so hard on yourself. Don't look for a quick fix, because there's no such thing. You cannot just, my legs are sleeping. You cannot just get, an overnight quick fix just from taking some supplements. It's just not going to happen. So I want to share a couple of these tips with you. Hopefully you can incorporate some of these into your life and start getting more improvement in certain areas. It's also some things I just want to mention, because I do get questions a lot about them on my Instagram. So I thought if I put them into this video, maybe you guys can get some benefit from it. That's what I have for today. I do have a lot more videos that I am filming and I will be sharing very soon, so stay tuned. But if you are not following me on Instagram, I encourage you to head to the link in the description box. My handle's at Marla's Healthy Life, and you can get lots of daily tips like this, lots of recipes and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.